Can you see me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hi
Yeah, I
everyone.
can see.
Yes.
Awesome. Fucking gold this morning. Son of a...
It's alright, it's only Monday.
Yeah. And a half week.
Yeah, that's true. It's alright, it's only Monday.
Yeah. And a half week.
Good morning, fan.
Good morning, Ricardo. Oh, shit, coffee.
Good morning, Tomas, and good job on NAS.
Hello, Donald. Yeah, not so good on gold. That son of a...
Well, it's one of those dirty little mother truckers that you're always calling it, so oh well.
It was manipulation. It was purely the market makers and, you know, the evil brokers. They want me broke.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, that's why you have more than one place to go. And gold, gold you can make a lot of money on, but you got to, like you said, you've always got to be careful, and even sometimes your analysis doesn't work, but as long as you're consistent, it should be good.
True say. What music do you want today?
I catch NAS, so I'm cool.
Yeah, me too. Made 2%.
It's very nice.
Last
2%.
step of my phase 2. So I have to make 5k more.
Is it funded or
Yeah,
be funded?
2B.
Brother, if you make 2% on a trade, how much you risking for?
I risked 0.5%. Yeah, it was a good. I got it from the lows of this push on gold, and then Nasdaq obviously came through massive. But I had to trade US tech, which is obviously not quite.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, on Nasdaq, on the other hand, we have to be very, 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 very careful because it is just reaching some important levels. 2 levels. The first one is obviously the weekly pivot, which we cannot ignore. The second one is if I go down to lower time frame, you will see a descending channel which looks like a bull flag. How nicely. So this is the area we need to really carefully monitor. And I would use a trailing stop.
Good afternoon, Tomasz.
Hello, Kai. How is you?
Very good, very good. Today has been very good. NAS and
Hold on.
GU back.
Sorry,
really
sorry.
nice.
I need to take the score. Sorry. See, Auntie.
You was in GU, I was in GJ.
Yeah, that was running nice as well, yeah. Are you still holding or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took some profit at the daily pivot and then it broke through, so
Shit, that's what I entered. I entered on the break of the daily pivot, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody out there doing USDJP?
Nah, I haven't. No, not looked at it today. No.
I did last week, but obviously could be completely different now.
Well, it hit kind of an all-time high, and I've been kind of riding it as it slowly goes down. But we'll see where it ends up at. I was just curious if anybody else seen that.
Everyone's been smashing it recently. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a trader now. I'm just gonna observe everyone else at the minute today. Make
Yeah.
the money, take the money on it.
Yes, sir.
I'm probably about just over 1% now, 1.5% of passing my phase 1. So I ain't trying to
Nice,
rush
man.
it.
That's so good. Do you have like a daily profit target in terms of percentage?
What, personally or on the actual account?
On
És mi a
no, yeah, on
különbség a-
No, there's no rules to say you need to make X amount per day, no.
De az valami teljesítmény, vagy annyi, hogy...
Oh no, I meant
vizsgázod?
like if you have any rules in your trading journal sort of thing or
Oh,
trading plan.
Yeah, I mean, in my own trading plan, I
Ja,
kind of want to risk
jó.
only about
Jó.
0.3% a day, 0.35,
same.
get 1,
És az
1.5.
EA drágább, ugye?
Yeah, that's good. It's worked out for me so far, so I'm not going to change that.
Yeah. I like to keep it below 0.5, to be honest.
Yeah,
risk.
Jó. Hát akkor legyen az. Ezt majd KP-be rendezik, vagy utoljak előre, vagy hogy majd? Mhm. Jó, rendben, nagyon szépen köszönöm, Anti. Jó, mert elvileg lehet, hogy jövő héten már tudok menni rutinra is. Hogyha holnap megyek Crestre, azt megcsinálom egy nap alatt. Aztán megyek. Oké, rendben, köszi, Anti. Jó, szervusz, szia. Excusez-moi.
Trading is all about experience. Is to feel the adrenaline running through our
Je ne parle
veins,
pas en français, parlez-vous en anglais.
like all the things we do that excite us.
we
Whatever
Mais oui,
world
mon
we come
petit.
from or live in,
Escargot, garçon.
there are people that are born to succeed.
What little boy
They're
has a
called
snail?
special, to hustle every day for an opportunity of a lifetime. Looking for the challenge to shape our future is something that's in our DNA. A privilege just available for a few. Traders, we see
Hey,
things
Tamas, where did you learn
differently,
English?
paying attention to every small detail
Hold on a second.
that would maybe go unnoticed by the
we lived in the
common
UK
eye.
for a while.
On or by the edge is our playground. With a constant strive for glory, seeking for a new tomorrow. Do you feel special? Take back control of your investments.
So, the data is coming up in a few minutes. Oh no, actually it's out already, building permits. Did it came out at 12:30? Wasn't it 1:30 or 1 o'clock?
It was 1 o'clock, as I remember.
Yeah.
I don't have
and,
any red fools.
Yeah, and it changed. I don't think they changed it, but it was 1 o'clock. 100% sure. That usually there's no data at 12:30. Oh well, it's quite inflationary. So the data is out now. So let's see how gold has reacted. This mother tucker pulled my trousers this morning, but it's not a problem because Naz is paying well, and it's back to the consolidation, back to the no man's land, back to the range in between the weekly and the daily pivot. The downward sending channel still holds very, very nicely. So, question is, where do we start selling? Because there's a chance that it's going to break out to the upside, but it has to break you know, we really need an impulse move, a very impulse move, in order for that to happen. No, actually, do you remember what we discussed in the morning regarding the macroeconomic and fundamental reasons? You don't remember?
So,
Probably not.
We talked about the reasons, and I need to look on Discord for the analysis I sent out. So we have U.S. monetary policy, which was interpreted as quite dovish by market participants. Hence, the gold was going up. But then, what was the reason why gold dropped? It was because of the new all-time high, and we had some inflationary data, right?
Right.
Also, there is China with the property market. What's happening, and the Public Bank of China is aggressively, they cut rates and surprised the market, 25 basis point. Ooh. And demand from central banks is quite big, especially China, and also Chinese households. So that is a fundamental reason why, gold has more upside potential. Can you name a few other reasons? Geopolitics?
we have
Not really.
the terrorist attack, but it feels like it hasn't affected the market that much.
No, it's too minor. It's like that moon at all that.
Good morning. Also looks like Israel and Hamas are accepting a ceasefire deal for hostages for prisoners.
So that's really that's, what would you say, Mike?
I would say that's downward pressure on the dollar there.
But also gold, because gold is a hedging
The
asset.
safe haven asset, right? The safe
Yeah,
haven
safe
asset. People be able to leave that. The world got a little more safe.
Yeah. It's not easy. When everything was going shit, wars were breaking out, inflation was climbing, it was much easier. But now that we have, maybe a ceasefire, maybe inflation is coming down, a lot of maybes and uncertainties, it is more difficult to trade, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So, don't have any open positions on gold. I had open positions, but closed out. Gold is pumping up. I would say if you look at the market structure, it's a clear buy. Anyway, I'm going... should I enter into buy? What do you think? Because if you look, there's a really nice bull flag. We had a
Just touching the
retest.
top of it.
Bang on the... almost on the trend line. So it looks like it wants to go, higher.
The problem is the emotional status of everybody else around it could drive it down too. So it really is a big question mark, especially where it's a Monday and it's also a holiday week.
I just
Yeah.
got in at 2.2.
A buy or a sell?
A
It's
buy.
above the daily pivot, but it's coming up to the weekly pivot, so it's kind of in the middle of both now.
Yeah. Let me just show you on TradingView. I need to add the pivots to MetaTrader. So this red box right here, we discussed the fundamentals, which is a bit wishy-washy. I have a bias, but the market may think otherwise. But now we are in this red box. This is the no man's land. Weekly and the daily pivot, trend line, still intraday quite bearish. But if you look at the bigger picture, it's bullish as fuck. So what we could try, what happened with my screen? What we could try is enter into a buy and use this box as a guide. So put the TP. Here's my idea. Maybe if it retraces, it won't retest the last all-time high, but who knows? So we could use the bottom. It's how many pips? It's like 46 pips, but the profit potential is much bigger if it breaks out. And even if it comes up to the top of the consolidation, we are still in profit. So the worst case scenario, we could stop out at break even. How does that sound?
Good.
Interesting.
I'm in.
You're in? Buy or
Of course.
sell?
Buy? What are we talking about? Buy? To sell?
Yeah.
Dubai?
Buy?
Bye.
Bye account.
There's a sell.
Yeah, I'm gonna try 2 lots. I'm gonna place 2 lots. Stop loss. Stop loss at 21.6655, around that area. So maximum I can lose is £961. The TP, I'll just go back for a second. TP, anyone? TP,
B.
BPP. The lower I go in the time frames, the scarier it becomes, because it looks like it's going to respect the top of the trend line. It's going to pull back down and wipe out another position.
Could be 2188.5 or 2197.2. That's from the Fibonacci retracement.
Yeah. Very well.
I use 92 for me.
Nice.
Nine.
It's good.
Yeah, it depends. If you have, smaller position, you can play around with the stop loss. Even though I wouldn't leave big of a... Oh no, sorry, the TP. 86, I think it's very reasonable. That would be $2,000. 2 to 1, 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. On the fundamental side, I'm bullish, super bullish. But now the colleagues just brought into attention that there may be a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. But anyway, there were many attempts and many announcements that there will be a ceasefire. It hasn't happened yet, really, and it's like 6 months now, 5 months. It's been going on.
So long.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Hey brother, good evening.
Hello TD.
Yeah, sorry brother, I just joined late. Any important information I missed in?
You mean signals?
Not about signals, any about the market fundamentals or anything?
Oh, you clever boy. No, just I know you want signal in it. We are in a buy, TD.
Great. To be honest, I just backtesting past 4-5 years data in a gold. If you take for the pandemic and the Hamas and the Ukraine war, so all think the market is go to strong bullish and suddenly it will be square of the maximum of investors. So it will be fall very dramatically to drop more than 1000 pips in a gold. But in this scenario, still the rate cut hopes will be in the top notch for the investor. So I think the market will be quite bullish for some other day, maybe. What do you think?
But what would cause a big drop for gold? If the war ends? If inflation comes down? No, actually, if inflation goes up, that would cause gold massively to drop because of the interest rate expectations.
Exactly.
So £1,000 drop, possible, but you know, many things need to happen.
But generally, the retail or big investors, the investing people's, something they are square of the position on the top notch will be going. No, but in this scenario, still it's not happening, I think.
What was that? Sorry. So the big players.
Yeah, the big players would be square of the position. For example, they are holding the buy position for the long term. So if you go for the past scenario like the pandemic and the Hamas and Ukraine war and that signature bank collapse, lot of things, the market will be reached to the peak and create the new price, and suddenly it get fall around the 1000 pips. But still, in the scenario, we just holding this long position for a very long time.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Nasdaq is doing well. Oh, yeah. Oh, 10 pips of profit on gold.
Lamborghini.
So Thomas, you trade only gold and US30 during as your past working in as a hedge fund manager, or you can work with a lot of pairs?
Two observations. I was never a hedge fund manager. I was an employee. I was an associate and then vice president.
Oh,
and
nice.
Once at a time of my career, I was a director, but that was at a bank, so it wasn't hedge fund. I was in risk management. I was a director. I never traded gold at hedge fund. Indices, very rarely, because we invested in individual stocks and mostly ETFs. So we had stocks and ETFs in the portfolio and some index, but our job was to beat the index, which is the S&P 500. So most of the hedge funds, they have a benchmark that they're marking them against or measuring success to. So we had different benchmarks, but basically S&P 500 was the standard to beat. Hence, we didn't invest in indices, just individual stocks. We were cherry picking.
How much? If you put some money into, say, an S&P index, like a fund, do you know what I mean, like an ISA or something, like a stock ISA, will it 100% go up then after a year?
Sorry, say it again.
With an S&P 500 like index, will it 100% go up after a year if you put it into like a stock ISA?
Not if COVID happens.
Yeah, it 100% happened only in COVID. So when it rebounded over 200%, let me just show you in a chart.
I have one that's averaged over 10 years, a 12% return.
Yeah.
So
it's a good investment, but the problem with that is because it's too expensive. So many people, they try ETFs and index following funds and things which are much cheaper. So ETFs, exchange traded funds, you can buy units in the exchanges, or the funds you can buy units, but investing in S&P 500 or Nasdaq, it's just bloody expensive because 18k. Even individual stocks are very expensive, so that's why most people choose ETFs or some derivative of the benchmark. But yeah, you can achieve the 100%, but it has to be some supply or demand side shock, or both, like one we had in COVID.
Yeah.
Because that was like a V shape. Well, not even V shape. It was like a fucking kangaroo
So you'd
jumping
have to
up.
buy one contract. You'd have to have one contract minimum in the fund then. So it'd be what, about around 18k then, right?
Units.
Is that?
Units.
Oh, is it in units?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Well, it depends. You know, yeah, it's units. Open-ended funds or closed-ended funds. And I promise you to show you the S&P 500. I don't have S&P 500 on the chart. Anyway, I'll show you Nasdaq. It's almost the same. So when we had COVID in it.
Not good.
Oh, it's even more than you know.
S&P
That's
there.
crazy. Look at that. So that was COVID. That was COVID right here. 20th of February. That's when it started.
Yeah.
It dropped, and look at how much it went up.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane.
And then how come it had another drop in about 2022? What happened then?
2022.
The start of 2022.
That was Russia.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of when everything started to come into collections on all the mortgages and that were put on hold because of COVID through the federal laws in the U.S. And then at that time, the banks started coming back out saying, okay, you owe us now. Let's start collecting.
Oh, shit.
Oh, gold 24 pips.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, she's looking good. Not really encountering a lot of resistance on the way up right now.
Weekly pivot, baby. What a crazy Monday.
Tomas, did you say your target is 2186?
Well, we can say that, yeah. It's fair to say.
Crazy Monday indeed. 2.7% up for today. And a beautiful morning.
Nice.
Congrats. You copying my trades or something?
Yeah, I have to sometimes because I'm so shit. No, seriously, sometimes I would just like to sit back, relax, and just you know, just copy someone else's trades.
Yeah.
Good morning, Thomas. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, David. ¿Cómo estás, señor? Ahí.
Estoy muy bien. Ahí. Ay, Habibi.
I like your hat. When are you going to send me the tequila? Just kidding.
You have to send me the address, Thomas.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
It's
Need a PO box.
Pipland. Postcodes of Pipland.
No. But
PPP.
is it good tequila?
Yes, it's very good. It's a traditional tequila from Mexico.
God, that must burn paint down from the fucking fence. It's so strong.
Yeah, it sure does.
That killed the virus.
I'll get you drunk, though. I'll get you drunk.
Nah. Okay, sorry guys to interrupt. We have a bit of a reaction to that channel, trend line. Gold is now gravitating in between the weekly and the daily pivot. Also, we have that resistant trend line. So now just talking about technicals, we talked about some fundamentals. So we need an impulse move. So whoever is asking whether to buy or sell, I can see both as potential. Technically, if I look at the chart, I would, without a doubt, most likely sell on lower time frame. Fundamentally speaking, when I look at the pros and cons that I sent out into the team as an analysis, many things pointing into the direction that gold is going to 2200 again to retest. You have the China narrative, the slowdown. They're probably going for China cutting interest rate. You have the property market crisis. We have geopolitics. The brutal terror that just happened in Russia. I mean, it will be retaliated, but there's so many uncertainty around that. But this week, gold market is expected to experience more cautious approach, but wide volatility balancing the long-term bullish sentiment that we've discussed. So long-term, if you look at the chart and if you look at the fundamentals, because of the dovish Fed, and that's the most important for me, that's the narrative I'm most speculating on. Gold is bullish, but because we have profit-taking, previous all-time high potential, Hamas-Israel truce, and all the things just makes it a bit more complicated. So if you look at the chart, whoever is writing in a YouTube chat that, oh, I'm in a sell, you're in a buy, you're going to lose, blah 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 blah, I completely understand. If I could, I would enter into buy and sell at the same time immediately, but that would be silly in it. And Nasdaq, you may want to take some profits. Or not. Maybe this is just a retest. Who knows? We haven't reached the target level. It's wise. 100 pips.
Take the money, make the money.
Make it, then take it in it.
There are times in the U.S. time zone where getting up at midnight to talk to you guys nice and early in the morning does kind of scramble things.
I can understand.
Good Lord. I request my payout today.
Congratulations, Ricardo.
Took me 3 days to assemble the payout. They are very, very, very delayed guys on TFT now.
With the payouts?
Yes. I don't know if the guys pushing too much on chats, but they are delaying too much.
Well, hopefully it will arrive.
I never go to the chats. I reach the mods privately, ask me kindly, and they solve my issues. So you'll see.
Boring day. Boring.
Come on, Tomas. It's only Monday. I mean, it can't be too exciting, can it?
Yeah, and Easter week. So, have you heard a saying that sell in May and go away? It's
No.
typical on the stock market that it used to be, all the big boys, the institution, the hedge fund manager, they were selling off the portfolio and just going away because majority of, a big chunk of the annual revenue or profit, profit not revenue, is made in the first few months of the year when portfolios are allocated, depending on the weighting, if it's stocks or some bonds as well in the mix, and they made good money. And then the rest is the bond portfolio works with the carry trades, so they sell in May, build down the portfolio, and then come back in June, but then summer starts, so they go away again. So typically many hedge fund managers work only from January to May, and then from September to up until Christmas.
Wow. It's a nice life.
Yeah. Much
I
movement. in
I
it.
exited my buys there at the top, but haven't gotten back in. The sell didn't look
More
like
promising.
it might just be a lower high here that it's making on the 1 minute.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Even higher time frame, it's a bit on the sell side. Fundamentals definitely on the buy side. So it's one of those days where you just have to bite the bullet, flip the coin, roll the dice, and just go with it.
Yeah.
But always have a plan. Because it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Up. Climbing up.
I think right now we have a Bostic speech, but I tried to find the link, but I'm not get it actually.
That's alright. Bostic is quite in the last. I've just read up on Reuters in the last interview or speech. He was quite dovish.
Yeah.
So I don't think he changed anything since that. You know, there is a massive. I wouldn't say argument, but there is a different views among FOMC members and Fed members about interest rate. Powell is definitely hawkish, but many FOMC voting members are saying that are arguing that it should be they should cut rates, and the argument for that is the first thing: why is 2% inflation rate really the equilibrium? Just because we're using it for 94 years now, roughly, because that's when they come up with this 2%. Is it still valid in 2024? The other argument is if you look at the article I sent out for the members Discord, discussing why hold interest rates still, why the Fed should resist messing with success. So if let me just find the article. Be tired today. So if the economy is doing well with the current level of interest rates, why lower them? That's another argument. But others argue that if the inflation is coming down, they should cut interest rate before the economy heads into a recession. So it's a very fine line.
But generally, if the Fed cut the interest rate, after that certain time, the inflation will be rises automatically. I'm right? I'm wrong?
Depending on many factors. So if the economy doesn't tip into a recession, then inflation could increase again.
Yep.
Depending on many factors. But if the economy heads into a recession, suddenly, because the mortgage rates are quite fixed for years, and if you ever had to remortgage, if prices are sticky, if wages are sticky, and the economy is in recession, they're going to be, increased unemployment, less economic activity, and that could itself induce a deflationary environment, so it could bring down inflation further. So it's depending on external circumstances.
Tamas, what's the likelihood of say if the UK's lowered their interest rates?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Fed Bostic, we are still in a pandemic economy. First point.
In what economy?
Pandemic. I just share in a Discord.
Let me check.
Yeah.
Oh, pandemic economy.
Yeah.
Well, is it the fentanyl pandemic or which pandemic he's talking about?
I assume Corona.
I hope so.
Yeah, if it were
pips.
fentanyl, it would be an epidemic.
Maybe
epidemic, yeah, sorry.
Epidemic, yeah. Okay.
Excuse me, my English is not so good today.
Thomas, just a quick question. You know, if the UK, what's the likelihood of if the UK lowered the interest rate a bit earlier than the US wanted to? Do you think the US would follow? And
don't cover your mic. Can't hear you. You're mumbling.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, what's the likelihood of the US following the interest rates of England? Say if, because the UK, I think they're a bit closer and closer to lowering interest rates. So say if we get a cut here in England, do you think the US would likely to follow a bit sooner than they want to, or would they just not?
Just because the UK is cutting interest rate, they would not follow blindly. No. So depending on the internal circumstances of their economy, of the US economy. And, you know, just because I jump in a well or jump off the roof,
sure,
doesn't mean you should follow.
Fair enough.
But we are Spartans. We go with you.
Yeah, and look where I got you this morning. Poverty.
More wins than losses, so no complaints.
Futures trader says it's called Joe Biden pandemic.
Yeah, that's been going on since 2020.
So if I zoom in to lower time frame, then the profit looks so much bigger. Look at that.
So the second point, I expect the economy and inflation to slow gradually.
Then to slow gradually.
Shared in a chat.
It's quite. I expect the economy and inflation to slow gradually.
It's like a Dow stone.
The economy is slowing down. It's inflationary. Inflation slowing gradually. No, but it doesn't tell us about the pace.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on the tractor.
Yeah, he said he expect, not he said the things are going like that. I think.
We want Trump back.
He already said he will fire Powell on first.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how you put a businessman in charge of a country and everything works.
Well, don't forget that Trump actually inherited a pretty healthy economy. So the problem with elections and politics is that whoever is in power, the economy they inherit from the previous government can be very bad or very good, but either way 4 years isn't really enough to do miracles. And usually when they turn the shit economy into good economy, their term is already up, which it's quite sad.
Yeah, it was interesting when he came in because Obama put I mean, he did have a good economy, but the thing is, he put so many regulations on small business that it was almost stifling. And the first thing Trump does when he comes in is he goes back to Keynesian economics where he releases all the regulations. He puts the tariffs on the countries that are unfair. He basically turned all that around to where we were net energy exporters and everything else. It was kind of fast how he turned it around, almost like Reagan.
But yeah, I remember when he started a trade war with China, he wasn't messing around. There was like literally within weeks, like, okay, not embargo, but like what was it?
It was tariffs.
Tariffs, yeah, the tariffs. It was like, what the fish is happening? And then he went against Jeff Bezos, who was like, oh, using the U.S. mail service as a postal boy for your freaking deliveries. Yeah, it was. Yeah, exciting times. But he does think like a businessman. And do you think it was better for the economy, Don?
Oh, no doubt. Everybody was working. Everybody made money. Gas was like $1.80 a gallon versus the $3, $4, $5 a gallon we're paying now. The border was absolutely secure. Right now, we've got over 15 million people that we have no idea where they're at, what they're doing, where they're from, or why they're here. And it honestly, to me, it's scary. We don't know if there's going to be a couple of 5 cells jump out and do a 9/11, but on steroids.
Yeah, I understand that. That's something that no one knows, but it's definitely a threat.
Well, and then if you look at any of the news in the big cities, that unfortunately it does have a lot to do with politics. They're scary. I mean, you look at Chicago, Cincinnati, Washington D.C., Atlanta,
San Francisco,
just the West Coast. I mean, let's just take it all in at once. It's just a nightmare, and that's why everybody's leaving there. And the safe haven between the mountains, Utah, which is where I'm at, we can't build housing in that fast enough.
Yeah, I have people in the US who told me exactly the same thing. I had people who lived in some Korean friends who lived in San Francisco, rich friends, and they moved out, I think 8 months ago. They said it's completely different city than what it used to be like 10-20 years ago. But the same happening in Europe as well. Like, I know so many Germans and Dutch, and they're moving to Hungary and Eastern Europe because they think it's safer. Of course, their money is better here, but
well, doesn't Hungary have a pretty strict immigration policy?
Yeah, we do. But nobody wants to come here, really. I mean, because it's different language, not really high salary. Well, there are high salaries for people who, with degree and etc. But illegal immigrants don't want to stay here because first, strict immigration policy. Second, the government says, well, we're not going to give you anything if you can prove that you legally should be here. So whereas if they go to Germany or UK, they get a mobile phone, they get money to spend, they get housing, they get everything. But here in Hungary, they say, well, are you in danger in your country? You have to prove it. If you come here without a passport, we're not going to look after you.
And to me, that makes sense. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I would say that Viktor Orban would say we have to look after our people first, but he doesn't really. So it's not the argument. It's like more like we don't want illegal immigrants. Those who come legally through the border with a passport and an asylum document or whatever with a claim, they are looked after. What I see from the news, but again, in reality, it could be different.
Thank you for sharing that.
MS Health Ethics. Oh, Germany gives immigrants all that? Yeah, Habibi, go to Germany.
On the other hand, Trump put $5 trillion worth of debt onto the American economy and gave tax cuts to the large corporations and ultra wealthy. And both of those things are going to be weighing heavily on the U.S. economy.
Well,
if we look at the
nowhere
current
near
record,
as
we
much
see
as the debt that the Democrats put on it. But when
You
you
know,
look
we
at
see,
Keynesian economics and the way Reagan and Trump both did it, they both cut taxes and everything else, because the first thing that you got to look at is how many poor people do you know hire people, and how many rich people
Job
do you
creation,
know hire
trickle
people.
down economics, exactly.
trickle-down economics, I think, has been proven to not be effective.
No,
I have an
it has
argument for
been.
that. Oh, go on, Don.
I was going to say, like I said, you can look at the Carter to Reagan, and then you can look at to a large degree, the Obama to Trump, and then hopefully, if we don't have the same mess we had in 2020, you'll see a huge transition when we go from Biden back to Trump, if it happens to go that way. And the thing you'll see is just basically people will have more money. Yes, rich will have more money, but the rich will spend their money. Where the poor people, they usually can't spend their money because they don't have it. And if you get to where the U.S. is a net exporter of a number of things, obviously our economy is going to be booming, the U.S. dollar is going to go up, and the rest of the world will be a lot safer.
I
very much disagree with all of that.
Can I say something? The trickle-down economics only works if you know something about the build-up of GDP, how the GDP is made up. And the reason why trickle-down economics not necessarily working in Eastern Europe but could work in the US is okay. So do you know what's the problem with GDP? It doesn't take
Mostly,
into account.
it depends on what it's based on.
It doesn't take into account the ownership of the asset.
Correct.
So if you take, I'm talking about personal experience, Eastern Europe, many German, many American, many French companies operating on, utilities, big companies, and they all taking the profit home. Nothing stays here. They build factories and, they give salaries, etc. But essentially, at the end of the day, the real money flows out from the country. Whereas in the US, trickle-down economics could work if they make the right policies, because in itself, just to allow, cut tax for big corporations, hoping that they're going to reinvest, isn't necessarily going to work. So I agree with Mike. But if they make additional policies, forcing them to reinvest that money or, bring home the production, that way it could definitely work. But the problem is with the US, the reason why it's debunked many times, because the companies outsourcing many of the operations and they're parking the money on offshore accounts. And actually there was back in, I don't know how many years ago, maybe it was Trump who announced something, that the repatriation of profits.
Yeah, it used to be that there was a high tax rate on repatriation of funds from overseas to the U.S., and Trump eliminated that so he could bring the capital back into the U.S. without it costing the companies, and thereby providing, a whole lot more capital to be able to build here in the U.S.
Yeah. And Mike, why do you think that trickle-down economics doesn't work?
I think what we've seen is with the COVID stimulus money, the middle class has actually spent that money and driven the economy in recent times. We see the wealth gap between the rich and the poor decreasing under Biden. Unemployment is at a 50-year low. Inflation is coming back down. And to mention again the debt that Trump put on the U.S., he actually added more debt than all previous U.S. presidents combined. And paid, with the tax cuts, now they want to go after the entitlements, which we could pay for if we hadn't implemented the tax cuts. But the entitlements, such as Social Security and other social benefits, are, also drive the middle class. And we're seeing that the building out from the middle out is actually giving results in this term. So I would say the jury's still out for me, on a broader view, but I have come around to this view of where Biden is taking the economy right now.
And what do you think he's taking the economy? into a better place, or?
Yeah, right now we're seeing manufacturing return. We're seeing the stock market at all-time highs. It seems to be working across the economy right now. Whether that will continue or not, I don't know, but we have more jobs in this country right now than we had pre-pandemic at our peak. So we have built back beyond where the declines and the hit that we took during COVID.
It's interesting. There is a problem on the sales desks many times on the trading floors. 2000 .com bubble, when literally you could sit a monkey in front of a computer, and whatever he bought, the price just went up. So there is a big problem for sales desks to differentiate. Is it actually the profit is made by the trader, or the market is just going up? So is it Biden who really drives the economy into a good direction, as you say, or the economy is doing on its own a good job after the pandemic?
Yeah, I think that's as Don was also saying, one of the things that we have to look at. The economy goes through its normal cycle, as you were saying. Sometimes the president has some influence on the economy, but by the time it takes shape, his term is over.
Yeah,
so
it's very difficult.
One more point with Bostic. Repeat, he expect just one rate cut this year.
Ooh, that'll have some impact on the price, I suppose.
But he expecting just only one rate cut. But generally, Powell approaching, I think 3 rate cut per year, I think.
Looks like gold has stalled out here at this level. Maybe we'll get some more volume on the hour. I'd like to see this get above 2179. I'm stuck at a hedge here at the top, so if we get above that, that will give me the opportunity to get out. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You gonna get there?
Maybe there's not enough volume.
I'm not really looking at gold, to be honest with you, today. The dollar index looks like it wants to keep pushing down for the day. So I'm going to look at maybe some USD pairs if there's any setups.
Boring Monday. About 36 pips profit on gold. Some retracement on Nasdaq.
Hi Thomas, can we buy natural gas for long term? Because I think so the price has went down like anything now.
Right before summer, when demand is dropping. I don't know, but I don't trade natural gas, so you have to ask a smarter person. But looking at the supply and demand, just ceteris paribus, omitting everything else, summertime natural gas should decrease because there is less demand, depending on which, if you're talking about Europe or US. The other thing is, if you look at the European storages, where they store the LNG or whatever it's, gas, everything is full to the roof. So household and country demand is should be decreasing.
Oil, on the other hand, that can definitely increase.
Well, the oil price going up because the Ukraine are destroying the factories, the oil factories.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Russian was put for 6 months, they don't export the benzene and diesel.
It's frustrating. Gold just can't break this level.
That's weekly opening 78.
Do you think it's worth trading the house price index tomorrow? Because apart from that, there's not a lot going on.
I don't think that it's worth anything trading this week. Usually before long weekends, it's just very dead.
Not any news for Great Britain either.
There's more news in an hour and 7 minutes, right? Housing starts or new home sales. So.
Yeah, new home sales up.
Such a rubbish week.
Should we go on a holiday?
Yeah. We just had a nice long weekend as well.
Have you not gone to the beach yet, Tamas?
No.
No. You should go there.
Why does the viewer count doesn't work? Sorry, I'm just messing around with my stream designs. The chat seems to be working now. Someone just commented 1 hour inverted head and shoulder on gold. Good luck. I'm not really good with these stream things. You know, these widgets and gadgets and... Fuck me, I'm getting old. Stream boss. What's stream boss?
I'd say use OBS Streamlabs.
I'm using that.
Oh, okay.
But if your account for some reason just doesn't work. Citrus drop. The fuck is that? Apparently there's a spin wheel. Spin the wheel to win fabulous prizes.
About 3 minutes to the next hourly candle closure. Might get some volume. Last week of the month before Easter. God, shouldn't be trading.
It's gonna pull everyone's trousers down just before Easter, mate.
It has.
You doing well?
Yeah, not too bad. How you doing?
I'm alright, man. Just recovering from this morning's madness.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Mm-hmm. Just like the weather today in Glasgow, mate.
One minute 30 seconds until the new candle. Igen, tessék. Jó napot! Követelés. Igen. Persze, természetesen. Jó, olyan kérdésre lenne még, hogy esetleg díjbekérővel, vagy valahogy lehet fizetni utalásra. Akkor azt most intéznem is van. Jó, rendben, akkor már is csinálom. Jó, köszönöm szépen. Vissza. Ooh, new hourly candle. Oh, it's gonna go up. Ariel's Adventure. Hi, just subscribe. Could please tell me where do you read the news? I use mostly Financial Times, Bloomberg, and Reuters. Those are the most reliable, unbiased news sources, but you have to be careful because Financial Times, well, Reuters is the most unbiased for sure. Financial Times and Bloomberg, there are some opinion articles. If you want to join the community, use that link. Go to alphafx.eu. And usually I send out articles and I prepare. So if you have a look on the screen, I do write down the most important things in the mornings, what drives the markets. We also have a daily morning briefing. So if you look at the screen right now, I prepare a summary about the most important things. So it's a summary of the summary, because many people, they don't read news. So I do the work. I do the work and prepare the macroeconomic analysis with charts, and also I share my personal entries whenever I enter into a trade. I'm sending the link into the YouTube chat. What strategies do you trade? Just what I studied at, over the years. Oh, and we are back again in profit. Ooh, bit of a economic argument in the members chat about communism. Which people's money, I want to hear it. Yeah, it's quite a slippery topic when we're talking about. We talked about with Don and Mike about trickle-down economics, and I see some fair points. Why should the government, why should rich people be taxed more? It takes away the incentive. That's one argument against, taxation, because the more incentive they have, the most likely they're going to venture or do business ventures. But anyway, slippery topic. Many opposing views. Are you guys sleeping or still here?
Alive.
Still
Alive.
here. Trying to will the price of gold higher.
Riding the wave.
I exited my trades. I don't have anything open, but I do have a hedge open at 21.79 that I'd like to get out of. So I'd love price to just peak above there for a minute. But then when it does that, it's probably going to go a little bit higher. So tough to manage.
Or it could completely reverse and go to 1,000.
Nadeem, do you have any idea about move and prop firm for funding trading? No. Short answer is no. Long answer is no, I don't.
And a social trading, Thomas, when you think about it on Forex, that would be great.
Full margin buys on gold.
Yeah, 0.1 not a that's the water.
I'm on it.
Full margin, no stop loss. You don't need a stop loss.
My stop loss is my bank account.
Stop loss is the weapon of the weak. Nasdaq sell, gold buy, full margin.
Good evening, Thomas.
Good afternoon.
Thomas, how big do you think the next correction will be due to these news of Apple and Google?
How long is a piece of string? I don't know. I'm just selling. Hopefully, it's going to drop a lot, but where is going to be? You know, there's so many things could affect. Who knows? Right now, selling hard.
Thanks.
Anytime. For more tips, hit me up.
Hey, this is Dustin from Streamlabs. Today, we're going to show you how to use the viewer count overlay to show your viewer count on different streaming platforms.
Alright,
The viewer
let's
count
do it.
overlay is for streamers that stream to multiple platforms and allows you to show your viewers from Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer.
Very good.
To set up a viewer count overlay, make sure you've downloaded Streamlabs OBS or are logged into streamlabs.com. Once you're in your dashboard, on the left sidebar navigation, look under the widgets section and then under the viewer count section.
Okay.
The most important setting here are the checkboxes that allow you to show your viewers from Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Thank you, Dustin. Is there any correlation between gold and Nasdaq? Asked by Rohit. Yeah, we can say that.
That you can only show viewers to platforms that you're streaming to. This means that if you're not streaming to YouTube and have the YouTube checkbox checked, you won't see it on the overlay. The rest of these settings are purely for the look of the viewer count overlay, so feel free to play around with some of the different options available. If you or someone you know has knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can enable custom HTML and CSS with the radio buttons, but we'll keep this disabled for now. everything is set, we can click on Save Settings. From here, we can go to the top and click on the Copy button to copy the viewer count overlay URL. Next, if you're using Streamlabs OBS, you can go to the top left and click on the Editor tab. Then, by the Sources section, you can click on the plus sign to add a new source. For Streamlabs OBS users, you can click on Viewer Count, then click Add New Source. Name it what.
Why is the viewer count doesn't work? I just don't understand. Oh, it does work. Yes. I am an IT genius. It took me an hour to add the viewer count on YouTube. Unbelievable.
Dustin dies. GG.
No. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it a day because this is absolutely ridiculous. New York Stock Exchange is opening up in 18 minutes, so good luck. Nasdaq is most likely going to sell off because the myriad of the sea of poo-poo that's happening with you know, Apple and the trade war between China and the US, or the ban of the American companies in China like Nvidia and Nasdaq. Nasdaq, talking shit. You know what's happening. So China is a bit in a beef with the US. I'm gonna call it a day, but hopefully the market is going to do something because this is absolutely boring. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a good day.
Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
See
you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Alright,
Bye.
Chris.
Yeah,
Thank
baby.
you. Bye.
And those who join the stream, there's a surprise for you in the YouTube chat. £199, the old price, because I know 2 people asked for the link for the old price. This is only for valid for in the next 15 minutes. If you would like to sign up, feel free to do so. And see you one day. Thank you so much. This is the Alpha FX.